What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the new LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle, the main tower, so we get another piece to go for our most detailed Hogwarts build ever with the main tower now, which is really cool. So this is set 76454 with 2,135 pieces that retails for $260 US. So that price shocked me a lot because I thought the Great Hall set, which I don't know why, was going to be the most expensive set we got with this whole thing. So I thought, okay, everything would be under $200. And then I picked this up just automatically thinking, oh, it's like $200, whatever, and saw $260. And I was like, holy cow, that is a lot of money. But it is a really big build, so it does make sense, especially with our main big tower here, as well as our additional little piece of the castle off to the side. And of course, we can attach this up with our Great Hall set, so it'll all look pretty cool. But we get 12 minifigures in the set, so of course they're all down at the bottom. I think it's cut off, so you can't really see, but they're all sort of scattered throughout the picture here. But it just looks really nice with this nice big box design. If we spin it around to the back, you can see the interior of the tower, so looks pretty good there overall. So we get all sorts of different rooms, of course, we'll go through. We get the grand staircase, so you get all the stairs that'll twist around and move and everything. And of course, this is made from Sorcerer's Stone, so we do get some of like the final like chambers things with like Fluffy going into the Devil's Snare and all that sort of stuff going along through there. So we have that featured throughout the set as well. So overall, pretty decent interior build as well. Get different rooms and everything to go along with Hogwarts Castle. So I was pretty excited for this set, and I thought overall it did pay off pretty well as a pretty nice set to go along with our Hogwarts Castle. So let's go ahead and look at that set, starting with those minifigs. So here we have our 12 minifigures from the set. So we'll of course start with our trio of Harry, Ron, and Hermione first. So we get Harry, and as I mentioned, it is from Sorcerer's Stone, so they're wearing the outfits that they're wearing at the end of the movie. So we get Harry in his red knitted sweater, which looks nice with some tan pants. And of course, it's just the short, younger Harry from the first year, so looks pretty usual as that, especially with the face. So same face printing with a little smile there. His messed up black hair showing off his scar there, and has a scared face there on the back, and comes with his standard darker brown one. So again, all these we've had many times before, so nothing surprising there. Then we get Ron again in his outfit, so he just has a t-shirt with a button-up flannel over the top. Looks like some dark pants maybe. Can't tell if they're dark brown or black. It's hard to tell with the colors. But then Ron's normal face with this little smirk, of course, has freckles and everything. His orange eyebrows and orange hair there with the longer hair piece, and a scared face there on the back as well. Nice printing on the back of his shirt, and comes with his normal brown color one. And then we get Hermione in her outfit, so she's got a nice sweater. It looks like almost like an ugly sweater design, but with the green, a little bit of red details and all sorts of stuff going on there, with a blue shirt underneath, some tan pants, her tan one, her bushy brown hair, which looks nice, and the normal Hermione face with a scared face there on the back as well, of course, going through those different chambers that they will be. Then we can move to our other students. So first over here we have Neville, which is pretty nice, again from the first movie towards the end when he tries to stop Ron, Harry, and Hermione from going out at night, and he's wearing his pajamas and they hit him with Petrificus Totalis stuff, so looks pretty good. Of course, our Neville face with his big buck teeth and his sort of dopey looking eyes and stuff. His brown hair just swept over to the side. He has a little smirk face there on the back, and like I said, his pajamas, so he has the blue pajamas on with little details on it. Can't really tell, they look like teddy bears or something. And then comes with his dark brown one as well. And then we go over to Dean Thomas, which we've had Dean multiple times before, but again from the first year with the shorter legs. He's just in the standard Hogwarts robe, so for Gryffindor especially, with the gold and maroon design. Of course, has the like sweater underneath, the button-up white shirt with the tie, the robe on over the top that has the robe hood design there in the back, and just Dean's face. So he has a smile there and a sad printing there on the back with his haircut design, and he comes with the dark brown one as well. Then moving over to Percy Weasley, so nice to get another Weasley. And of course, Percy's older, so he has the normal legs, so we get a taller, normal size minifigure here. Looks good, of course, with his orange hair sort of poofed up there. Pretty stylish design for Percy. He wouldn't have hair like that, but looks good. Still has the orange eyebrows, of course, a little smirk there on his face, and more angry or whatever stoic face there on the back. And the Gryffindor robes as well, just has his robes unbuttoned, and he comes with a tan wand. Then moving over to Marcus Flint, which we also see in the first movie as a part of Slytherin, and I think he may be the seeker for Slytherin. I don't remember exactly for sure. I just know he's on the Slytherin Quidditch team, but looks good for him. You know, he has the Slytherin robes on, and it looks like the Quidditch robes. So the nice green shirt on there is Slytherin logo on his chest. It looks like it's all tied up and everything, with some tan pants, has his tan one, gloves on his hands there for Quidditch, and of course his face, he has a little bit of like messed up teeth. It's hard with the little design to see it there, but the teeth and his black hair sort of slicked over to the side. No additional printing on the back of his head though, so just the single printing there, but looks pretty decent overall for Marcus Flint. And then we get some additional students just to put throughout Hogwarts. So first we have Ernie McMillan, which looks good as a Hufflepuff. So he's got the Hufflepuff robes on there in the yellow and black design. Looks good overall. He has the dark brown one as well. We get his face where he just got a nice big smile on his face there. Looks pretty good overall with his longer blonde hair. Overall, it kind of looks like Ron's, just in different colors, you know, from the orange to the blonde now. And kind of reminds me of Luke Skywalker just with that head design. And then he's got like a O face there on the back there. So pretty nice to have him. And of course has the small legs as well, being in the same year. And then from Ravenclaw, we have Lisa Turpin, which I've never really heard of before, but looks good in the Ravenclaw outfits. So we get the silver and blue design, at least that they use in the movies. So it looks good. She does have the dress piece, so she does the dress with the leggings and stuff. Looks good, normal brown one. Then we get her face with a little smile, freckles around her eyes and all that. And then her hair back in a ponytail, so looks good. And she has just a sad face on the back. So again, another nice design, just to throw in another student for Hogwarts. Then moving over to our teachers. First, we have Professor Kettleburn, which I had never heard of before. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to reading the books and stuff, but he was the care of magical creatures teacher before Hagrid, so nice to have him. Of course, he's got his white hair, long white beard, looks good there, and of course all the wrinkles and everything on his face showing his age. He's got a nice green sweater, whatever he's sort of wearing there, looks like a white sort of bow tie or something around him. Then he's got gray pants on one side, but then a peg leg, because taking care of all the creatures has caused him to lose legs, so now he has a peg leg, so we get a nice peg leg design there, and he just comes with a brown wand. Then we get nearly headless Nick, which looks good as well. Love that he comes with this piece around his neck. Looks very nice, of course, in his old robes. He's all in like the grayscale color, so the white and grays and darker grays and stuff. So looks good with his face. Love that he's got the little like Van Dyke sort of going on. His hair all slicked back. Of course, if he was nearly headless, we could, you know, partially take his head off like that. Of course, it'd have to sit off to the side though. And then we just get his nice outfit. So nice like Renaissance era looking outfit is what it looks like there with the nice printing and stuff. So nice to have the updated version of nearly headless Nick. And finally, we get Dumbledore. Always got to have Dumbledore, and looks good here in the nice red robes, again, as he appears in Sorcerer's Stone. Nice printing and stuff with all that, with the nice gold designs and everything through there. His long white hair, long white beard, of course, his old face. We get the half-moon spectacles there sitting on his nose. Just looks good and comes with his tan wand. So nice big minifigure selection. Once again, that's the one thing with the Harry Potter sets. We always get a nice selection, and this is another nice one once again. And here we have our main tower build, which of course is really tall, so you can see it from the bottom. So we have like cliffside, like we had with the Great Hall as well. So we get the water of the Black Lake at the bottom, then the nice cliffside, and like we get all the like tree designs and stuff using those new like fern pieces and everything with all the rock work coming up to the start of our Hogwarts castle. So we get this nice exterior build here. So we get a nice like walkway, and over here we'll connect to the other set. Nice entranceway, which of course, if you look at Hogwarts like layouts and designs and stuff, you will see this part there. And nice, we get like little plants, so a little pot with plants or lanterns off to the side, and just a nice big build of Hogwarts there. And as we start to go up, we can see the top of the main tower there. So the really big tower here keeps going up really high there to the very top. So nice big design. Love it with the gray roofs. I love how they threw in some of the green design as well, going like to the classic designs and stuff. And just really nice overall, a nice big set. But just exteriorly looks good, especially like when you see this tower, just how big around it is. Like once you see that, like especially from the exterior, like, okay, this is definitely $260 worth. But when you see the interior, to me, I'm like, okay, you know, I feel there could be more. Like, I feel stuff could have been built a little better, you know, designed a little better. Just whatever's going on, I feel it could be better. But exteriorly, I think it looks amazing. So let's go ahead and spin around to the interior, because that's where everything is. And then, of course, we'll bring in the other set and connect it at the very end. But here we can look at the interior, and we'll just probably start at the top and move to the bottom, just because that'll be easier. So we'll start with the main tower first, because that's obviously the main feature of the set, the main tower or the grand staircase. And as of course we look up, we can see everything. I'll try and get the camera closer. So looking up here at the very top, of course, it's hard to see, but we do have a portrait there. So you get all the various portraits, you know, they're kind of different for every single set. So we got a portrait there, which mine looks like it's Godric Gryffindor. So that's pretty cool. So nice to have that all the way up there at the top. We get this little open just spot area. There's a lot of these little spots just kind of throughout this, but we get just a spider. So could just be a spider for anything. Could be a part, of course, from Chamber of Secrets, where there's the spiders all over the castle, but just a spider there. Going down to our little red gem of the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone. Stone, whichever one you prefer. So that kind of just sits right here. So a nice little storage place for it. And of course, from our top of the tower as well, we get the pieces off here to the side, which is the headmaster's tower. So technically Dumbledore's office should be up in this section of the tower, but we see it down below here. So obviously they can't fit exactly where everything belongs. But as we look down, we can then see the Mirror of Erised, which looks pretty cool. Again, it doesn't belong all the way up here unless it's supposed to be the empty classroom that it's sitting at when Harry first finds it. And then, Dumbledore tells him not to look for it again. And of course, they then use it at the very end for the Sorcerer's Stone. But it's nice. We get some little flames here around the side, and of course the mirror there. So as you can see with the nice reflective design on that. But we have Harry and his parents, James and Lily Potter, there with our Mirror of Erised or Mirror of Desire. So that's cool, and you can spin it around and have Harry there with the Sorcerer's Stone. So that looks really cool. So nice design for that there. And of course you can have Harry standing here looking at himself holding that as well. So that's pretty neat. But as we move down, we can then go into Dumbledore's office. So pretty nice to have his office here. Of course, we've had it represented in past sets and everything, so nothing too surprising. But we do get his desk here with some stuff on it. There's like envelopes, the lamps and everything. We get the pensieve over here, so of course it's hard to see if I can kind of take it off. You can see the blue liquid down inside. We get the sword of Gryffindor hanging over here to the side. Fox sitting there on his perch. There is even like the little step stairways going into the back like we see in the movies. A shelf over here with all sorts of stuff hanging on it, or like it's a sticker and everything. But I see there's a sneakoscope or whatever, but just all sorts of little knickknacks and everything on the shelf with stickers. And of course our sorting hat here as well. And then there's portraits all around, which most of the portraits are supposed to be old headmasters and everything, so there should be like Phineas Nigellus and stuff like that throughout there. But of course I can't really identify any of them, but we do get that. And of course the entrance into Dumbledore's office is through the staircase guarded by the stone gargoyles, so we do get that. So we do get a staircase here, of course connecting to our big grand staircase. That is of course the main feature of the tower. So we can see the staircase here that allows you up into Dumbledore's office, but if we twist it around, we get the stone gargoyle there that's kind of guarding it, that you have to say whatever Dumbledore's favorite treat is at the time. So we get that sort of guarding it, and then it can spin around, allowing you up into Dumbledore's office. And of course we have the grand staircase and everything that will go around here, but we get all the pictures around, so just some random pictures thrown around in the background as well. Nothing too significant like Sir Cadogan. Well, actually that's one of the portraits there. So yeah, just some random pictures all the way down through. So as we go back down, you'll see more stairs there in the background, of course leading to each of the levels. So it is nice they do have the stairs. I just don't like the ones that move because I just don't think they weren't designed the best. But of course we have a level here that will go up, and of course you can come up the stairs here and go into Gryffindor Tower. So we'll have to look at that here in a second. But continuing moving down the stairs, so we get like this is the main one that twists around here, so you can go to either side. So you can go up here to the Gryffindor Tower or over to this side just to go up to the higher levels. And of course more portraits. This one has some like little statues and stuff around it at the bottom. So this is supposed to be like probably the main level of the staircase. So that's pretty nice, like I said, just with all the portraits and everything going around inside there. And then that leads to our bottom level, but we'll do that last just because it will make the most sense. So let's actually go back up and look at Gryffindor Tower. So we're almost here, so let's kind of lift up a little here to see Gryffindor Tower, which is pretty nice. Now, of course, to get into Gryffindor Tower, you have to go to the fat lady. So we do have her portrait, so we can kind of open this. Of course, the chair's in the way. So we do get her portrait there. So obviously, if you come up the stairs, you'll see her portrait right there. And of course, have to give the password to get into Gryffindor Tower. So that is pretty nice, and love the design. Of course, it doesn't really look exactly like Gryffindor Tower like we see in the movies and everything, but we get the fireplace, we get two comfy chairs, a table here in the center with just some bookwork or something, lamps in the background, some banners for Gryffindor, of course Gryffindor colors in the red and yellow design. Then we get a little bit of stairs going up into the dormitories where we do get two beds. Like this bed has a box of Birdie Bots ever flavored beans, the like heat radiator, whatever they have going on, two side tables with lamps and everything. And of course we get Hedwig over here to the side as well, so you get Hedwig in this set as along with Fox. We get two bird creatures that go along with it, so pretty nice. And again, more interior like little spaces there that don't mean anything, they're just there included for some reason. So nice to have that Gryffindor Tower represented. Of course it's real small, and it should be higher up. I think it's on the 7th floor of the main tower that's going off, so not in the right placement of course, but that's kind of typical for this set. And then we can go down to our next floor, which of course in story and everything should be the 3rd floor, because we have the 3rd floor corridor that leads into the room that's protected by Fluffy. Of course we'll have the trap door and everything. So we get Fluffy, which looks really nice. So our 3-headed Cerberus dog, again, pretty small. Like this one seems like compared to the others. I forgot to get my original because I had the set that had the original Fluffy and still have the Fluffy figure and everything. So pretty nice design though with the 3 heads redesigned. Of course they do have mouths that open. They're hard to get a hold of just because how small they are in there, and hurts quite a bit. Yeah, I can't really get a hold of it. So their mouths do open and stuff, and I like how it has almost like a chain piece around the one there. So nice design overall. I just don't like the brick built part here in which the heads looked more connected. So not fully happy with that, but not bad at all. And of course, we got a Fluffy with the last set or whatever not too long ago as well. So we've had multiple Fluffies, so I can just pick whichever one I like the most and use it in here. But with the smaller size, it does sort of fit with this smaller room that we have here. So that's pretty good. Then of course, interior wise, we do have the harp there that plays to make Fluffy go to sleep. We'll have the trapdoor and then just a little window out the side. You can put a character there just to have a look out of it. But of course, our characters get past Fluffy by going through the trapdoor. So the trapdoor opens, allowing our characters to fall into our underground chambers where we start to go through our end scenes. So down here at the bottom, we get the Devil's Snare, which doesn't really show off too well. But say like we can take Harry, of course, have him drop down through and he kind of sticks there. Now there is a switch on the back. It just looks like the Rockworks. They did a really good job hiding this, but you can push on it. So you can like, I think slide it up and down. I don't even know if I'm touching it or where it is exactly. There it is. So you can slide it down there and it'll kind of drop the leaf down because there's a leaf here holding up, and it should drop down, allowing the kids to fall down through. So it allows this to move up and down. I'll try and spin around to show you what it looks like. So it's, yeah, just this piece you slide up and down. Again, really nice that they hid that away with the Rockwork. Like if you didn't know about this, you would not know it's there at all, but it just allows the Devil's Snare to come down. And of course, they put all different plants, some of the sticker work and everything down underneath here. So there is some stuff going on. Not, of course, not a whole lot, but it is pretty nice that they were able to include all that. Then once they get through the Devil's Snare, they move to the room full of keys. So we get the room of keys. So we get this room that can actually slide out, so we can slide this into the other pieces of the castle and everything. So again, pretty basic design. We just sort of get this tower in the center with all the keys. So you get some keys here on some clear pieces to make it like they're flying around. Of course, the broom that you can put Harry on and have him like flying around the room and stuff. And this does open up so you can sort of make some more room and everything in it. And like I said, you could slide this into the part under the Great Hall and everything like we've seen before. So nice that they do have those sort of modular pieces going together. But again, a piece like this, I wish there was just some more detailing going on with the sides and everything. And then of course we can then move into our next room, which is kind of sliding out here, which has our wizard's chest, so the big chest. So pretty nice design, pretty small. Of course we get some piece representation, so king, queens, I assume like bishops, and of course knights here that are part of the final scene. Nice fire around them as well, and this will slide in now. Again, can go under the Great Hall as well, so we can take like Ron and place him, of course, onto the Black Knight here, a part of the movie and scene. Of course, is very much meme now, but you can put Ron on there like that, doing the last move to be able to win the wizard's chess game. So pretty nice overall for that's included as well. So again, with stuff and all these scenes, you can just put the characters all throughout it to recreate it however you want there. And of course, once they go from there, Harry moves on to the room with the Mirror of Erised and defeats Voldemort on Professor Quirrell's head, but we don't get that represented except for the Mirror of Erised all the way at the top. So overall, pretty nice design. Like I said, I wish the interiors, like rooms and stuff, always had more detail. That's the biggest thing with this. Like I said, though, exterior wise, it looks so good. They do such a good job with the exterior designs of the castle, like just spinning this around. It just looks so good to me, just the way it's designed and everything. While we're here, I do want to show you that sliding piece. So it is right here. So it's just this little piece that slides up and down. So like I said, if you didn't know it was there, you would not see that at all. But that controls the Devil's Snare. So just wanted to show that off. And of course, now that we have this, we can go ahead and attach it to the Great Hall set to show you what it looks like. Now to connect this piece, there is a clip right here. So there's a clip because of course throughout this piece on the other side, the Great Hall as well has these clip pieces. You can see them along through here. So for this set, this front clip will clip to the second set here because there's one in the front. That's where the viaduct will attach to go across. So you have to attach it to the second one here and just get it clipped on there together. And of course it doesn't like attach amazingly, so it's not like it's the best or anything, and you can sort of have that and get it adjusted. Like I said, it doesn't really sit the best, but as we sort of zoom out now, you can kind of see what Hogwarts Castle looks like. So that looks really cool, having our Great Hall and the giant main tower there sitting in the background. That just adds so much to the design and makes it look cool. And of course I do also have the boathouse to sit out here in front, but it would just probably take up, I have it sitting here. I don't think it'll work too well. Yeah, it kind of takes up a lot of the room showing you everything, but just wanted to show you that is what the main tower sitting along with the rest of Hogwarts looks like so far. So hopefully we'll continue to get more sets like this to continue to build on the rest of Hogwarts as it's labeled. So I'm just super excited for that. But as for the main tower itself, a really expensive piece, but as you see it, like I said, I thought the Great Hall was going to be the biggest, most expensive set, but seeing even just how big the main tower is compared to this is just ridiculously crazy and cool at the same time. So I feel it is worth worth it, especially also getting 12 minifigures and everything with it. So they did a really good job filling it out. Like I said, just the interiors are always the things that leave room to be desired because I feel there's always better stuff they could do. But overall, a really cool set, especially exteriorly designed, and to fit in with our other Hogwarts pieces, it just looks amazing. So let me know what you thought of the new LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle, the main tower piece, down in the comments. And if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.